Yeah. Oh. How's everyone? Love is in the air. It's yet another lockdown. Love is in the air. Facebook's full of clowns. And I don't know where I'm going. Nowhere at all. Love is in the air. Hey, love is in the air for Facechook Live tonight. How are you? Hey, 2 weeks. Another 7 days to go, maybe. There you go. My name's Quinlan. Welcome to Melbourne Musos Facechook Live. Putting up a brave face for what we are doing in Melbourne town. Hey. And hello everyone who is not in Melbourne town. You lucky packer, lucky. Bloody lucky. When I was growing up, we'd have a lockdown every week and have to eat gravel before we went to school. Monty Python, 19-something, 71, I think it preceded Monty Python. Oh, luxury. Anyway, how you going? All right, my name's Quinlan, of course. Melbourne Musos, Facechook Live, of course. And last week was pretty crazy. Get your bug roll and all that. I'm going to bookend everything because last week I was talking about frenetic stuff, pointillistic business, very short, sharp. But now, I'm going to go the other end. I'm going to go subtext, I'm going to go movie soundtrack, and I want to talk about a few things where you could almost call it, well, I'll get stuck straight into it. Subtext. Probably the most iconic kind of subtext is when, you're going for a little swim and all of a sudden you're hearing chomp, 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 chop, chop, you must chop, barbarian. Jaws. I'm so pretty, I'm swimming on the beach. Go shark! Okay, chomp, chomp. Subtext, okay? By the time you get halfway through the film, all you have to hear is you know he's coming. Okay, Mr. Jaws. But what goes on is that when I'm dealing with themes and thematic ideas, hello camera 2, what happens is you create a soundscape. So this is the opposite of last week where, bog roll, get your bog roll here. I got a phone call from my next door neighbour. Hello John, if you're watching. And he said, Chrissy boy, that's what he usually calls me. Chrissy boy, what the hell were you on? I wasn't on anything. I don't do the wacky tobacco. I can't, anyway. And I don't drink and drum. This is all natural. That's scary in itself. Anyway, but what it is let's go the other way tonight. Subtext. I've already talked about Jaws. Let's talk about a few people. Oh. Jimi Hendrix. Electric Ladyland album. 1968. Everybody knows all the hits. But on side 3 of the double album, 1983, Merman I Shall Be. Words to that effect, wasn't it? I should choose to be a merman I think that's the male version of a mermaid. Hello. Now, go and have a listen to that track. It's about 13 minutes long. There's a bit of a story to it too. Is the fact that they put this beautiful psychedelic masterpiece together. Jimi Hendrix and the producer, Eddie Kramer, very famous man. And they worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and worked on it. And Jimmy took it home on the train, and he left the tape on the train. So the story goes. I got this from the classic album thing that used to be on SBS. And so he frantically went back into the studio on the day before the album was supposed to go off to get mastered and all that. So they were on a tight deadline, and they did it all again in like a few hours. And that's what ended up on the album, you see. Now, if you go and have a listen to it, it's this wonderful, what I was talking about last week, this soundscape of riffs coming in and coming out, and there's Mitch Mitchell and there's Noel Redding on bass, Mitch Mitchell on drums, and it just goes in and out. So it's all these fragments coming in and out, like I was talking about last week. However, it wasn't frenetic. It was, you know, it just took you on a journey. Wow, that kind of thing. Now, let me talk about what can influence you. One of the things that's always got me going is the tools of the trade. Now, I get on my soapbox, and I know every time I do, people crack the shizers with me and all that. But, you know, reading, writing it down, all this stuff. But when you need a long roll, you really have to work the touch of a single stroke roll, because it is a drum show after all. And so sometimes these kinds of things here are sometimes the most delicate and trickiest things to try and get. Because, look, I'll tell you what I do. If I'm a bit lumpy, can you hear that little rattle from my triggers? Now, what I'm trying to do is a thing called threshold. Most of you guitarists out there know what threshold is, because it's on your compressor and all that, the threshold and all that. So I'm trying to stay under the threshold where the triggers kick in. Now, most of the time, you're trying to do that on a practice pad, and you're whacking away at a practice pad, trying to get faster, 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 and all that stuff. And trying to get all your kids to use the practice pad. But what you're doing is, while I'm talking to you, is that I'm working things up with the mallets. These are PST ones, the soft ones. And then when I do a little snap, I go above the threshold, you see. And what I've got on my triggers here, I did a show on it last year. One of the most important metronomic times is 120. The reason being, it's a typical marching tempo when you're marching down the street. It's also half a second, you see. 60 seconds in a minute, half it. 120 beats in half a second. But what happens is my echo that's my metronomic time. It's not a metronome. Hello, metronome over there. So what I'm doing is creating a soundscape, you see? That's what's going on. I've quoted Hendrix's Electric Ladyland for that. There it is there. And pop, behind me there, all that stuff. Now I'd like to talk about the band I was talking about last week, Fantomas. Now, I put up the director's cut last week. But the album that came after, Mysterioso. It is an album called Delirium Cordia. And essentially, it's a soundtrack. If you remember last week's show, if you watched it, Audient, is the fact that Mike Patton is the brains behind Fantomas, along with King Buzzo from the Melvins, and it's a wonderful group. They haven't made albums for a little while now, but that album, Delirium Cordia, Mike Patton said it's a soundtrack to a person having open heart surgery. And inside were these incredibly pristine photos, and they were quite, well, graphic, of a person having an open heart surgery. So, skin and not for everybody. But what happens is that album, you have to prepare yourself. There are some albums out there that you have to prepare yourself to listen to. That's one of them. The other one, Cecil Taylor Indent album. Oh man, that was some angry piano playing, but he took you on a journey. Oh man, it was incredible virtuosic playing of avant-garde jazz piano. Whoa. It's about as hard to hear as Ron Burgundy's jazz flute. Aqualung! Love's in the air. Every time I look around, you see, love is in the air. It's our 4th lockdown. I need to say the naughty word again. And I really am swearing too much. I need a new swear jar. Da, 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 da. 2 Slaps Botlow has a QR code. My goddamn microphone is facing overload. I made that up. We're all going troppo. Okay, so what's happening here? I'm creating subtext and soundtracks, and I've quoted 2 people I want you to go and listen to. Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland. If you got the vinyl, it's side 3. Double album, of course. And it's 1983. A Merman Should I Be? And as I said, Eddie Kramer, brilliant piece of music. Incredible. It just takes you on a trip. Secondly, I've talked about Fantomas, Delirium Cordia. Now, it's almost the opposite of it's almost the opposite of the director's cut, which was Fantomas' album before that, in the sense that director's cut was fast, really short, sharp, bang, and all that. But Delirium Cordia was really quite, dark. It just keeps you going like that. And I've talked about Jaws. But really, when we're getting into this kind of stuff, there's 2 more. Now, I mentioned it last week, Frank Zappa's Civilization Phase 3, which was posthumous. Funny story with that, because it was the first album released after he passed away. It was one of the last things he worked on. The CDs inside the double CD, 2 hours worth of stuff, were black. And I've got anecdotal evidence by some of my Zappa pals that some people opened up and said, "Oh God, there's no CDs in there." Didn't pick it because it was all black. But the gatefold and the artwork inside was quite incredible. Anyway, and there's stuff there that's like tracks that are 17 minutes long. There's one there called America, which was all about the Exxon Valdez disaster at the time, back in 1993 or whatever, and all that. And you know, tanker going, all the oil spills out, all the usual stuff now. And it was just, you know, you put it on. This is the idea with some of this stuff. And Frank Zappa actually talked about this in his first albums with the Mothers and Invention, especially We're Only In It For The Money and all that. He put on, there's a track, and he actually says in the liner notes, read Franz Kafka in the penal colony, colony, in the penal colony. Get your lips right, Chris. And read it while you're listening to this piece of music. And that's what maybe I can get you to do that. Read something. I tell you what to do. Go onto your Facebook feed and read out aloud any particular post where the comments is truly popcorn stuff. Like, wow, look at all these friendships blow up in one afternoon simply because someone says, I'm going to wear a mask and I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to get a COVID jab. Watch everybody pile on. I'm going to shut up now. Here we go. Start reading. Read your Facebook post now. Oh, it's fun. It's sport, I tell you. Love is in the air. It's another lockdown. Love is in the air. Look at all the pack of clowns. And I don't know what I've just been reading. Everybody's lost their minds, 'cause it's love is in the air. Ooh, ah. Hello, kids. Hope you enjoyed that little thing. You were supposed to be a part of it, okay? I hope you were reading out loud. I tell you what, because this is absolutely live, without a net and all that stuff, I do have my mask. Hello. And what I'll get you to do, I tell you what, if you want to, read it. Read what you just read. Do it again. Do it into the phone. Record it. Send it to me. And I will put it over the top of that soundtrack. And it's like, oh, you dirty bastard, you're getting... No. Check out this thing. And all that. How's that post this week? Hey. Oh, everyone's using it on Facebook about... it's fraudulent. It's a fraud. Complete fraud. And it's about, you know, the jab. And people are still believing it because it backs up their narrative. And it's a fraud. It's a fraud. Hello, audience. Have I lost you yet? Oh, dear me. Now, that's it. Now, I haven't mentioned one person, Phillip Glass. Minimalism. Oh, I did before. I did, didn't I? Phillip Glass. That's all. Einstein on the beach and all that. When he first came to prominence, I was playing with a couple of dirty bastards. I don't mind saying that, they were. They're very talented dirty bastards. But when Phillip Glass hit the scene, he'd have all these repetitive motifs. His big hit was Einstein on the beach. I used this lick last week, based on a double paradiddle. But we used to call this kind of music minimalism. I do love him so, but I am taking the pith. Oh dear, the pith. Anyway, there you are. I'm going to finish off now. Thank God, many people are saying. Why not? It's lockdown. You can do anything you want. That's the kind of thing. That's the thing about it, you know. You don't have to play covers. You don't have to play Jesse's Girl. You can do whatever you want. That's the whole thing. Be true to yourself, therefore you're true to others. There you go. Now I'm going to play... What am I doing? Okay. A few weeks ago I did Lazy Teddy. And tonight is another one. And this is Pooh Has a Bad Dream. I love doing these. And what happens is I'm going to try and play this kind of subtext kind of deal that I'm talking about tonight, in the sense that Winnie the Pooh gets eaten by the shark. You're off.
Winnie the Pooh stood back and admired his work. 10 new slabs of honey, he sighed happily. Very nice, said Tigger. Just make sure that horrible Heffalump doesn't eat them tonight. The horrible Heffalump, asked Pooh. He's a greedy gobbler, said Tigger. You've seen him, asked Pooh. No, said Tigger, but it's even worse when you don't see him. You can't be too careful when a Heffalump's sneaking around. I'll be careful, said Pooh. Warru warru, growled Tigger bravely. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta for now. Good night, Tigger. Pooh locked his door. His house seemed big and empty. He climbed in bed and pulled his quilt up over his nose, and he stayed that way for a long time during lockdown. Horrible Huffalump, he thought. Must keep watch. He watched and he watched and he watched until he couldn't keep his eyes open any longer. Then suddenly, his house shook like thunder. A big red heffalump crashed through the door. He broke dishes and toppled the lamps. He stomped to Pooh's cupboard and guzzled up 3 slabs of honey. "Oh!" cried Pooh. The heffalump turned and looked at Pooh with his horrible green eyes. He snuffled him with his long blue snout. "Ho, ho," he said. "Now I'm going to eat you." The heffalump scrunched a slab of honey pot down over Pooh's head. "Oof!" cried Pooh. He jumped out of bed. He reached up to pull the pot off his head, but the pot was gone. The heffalump was gone too. Where is he hiding, Pooh wondered. Did he sign in with his QR code? What the fuck did he do? He was afraid to look. He ran to Piglet's house as fast as he could. "Help! Help! A whole horrible heffalump is hiding in my house," puffed Pooh. "A hun, a heff, a who?" asked Piglet, rubbing his eyes. "A heffalump! Hurry!" Piglet had no time to think. If he had time to think, he certainly would not be rushing out in the night to help Pooh find a horrible heffalump, because it's the 10k limit now, you see. And he doesn't have a QR code, and his phone's on the charger so he can't go in, and his mask's all in the wash. Oh my God. "Come out, heffalump!" cried Pooh. Piglet grabbed Pooh's broom and held it high over his head. "Pooh," asked Piglet, who had finally had time to think. "All right, you can be my bubble buddy." "What will we do with the heffalump when we find him?" Pooh thought and thought and thought and thought. "Maybe we should go get Christopher Robin," suggested Piglet. "Good thinking," said Pooh. "But we're bubble buddies. What's Christopher Robin?" "Well," said Piglet, "he can be your intimate partner." Moving right along. Christopher Robin was in bed when they arrived. "Poor Pooh," he said, "you must have had a bad dream. Heffalumps aren't real." "He was real," said Pooh. "I felt him snuffle me with his blue snout. He said he was going to eat me. If there is a heffalump in your house, then Piglet and I will help you find him, being bubble buddies and intimate partners, inside the 10k limit," said Christopher Robin stoutly. "We will, yes, we will," said Piglet. Together they mounted an expedition to find the horrible heffalump and chase him from Pooh's house forever. They looked under Pooh's bed. They looked behind his mirror. They looked behind his charging iPhone. They lifted the tablecloth and peered under the table. They opened his cupboard. All 10 slabs of honey stood side by side, just as Pooh had left them. Pooh scratched behind his ear. It must have been a dream. But why did it seem so real? "Dreams can seem real," said Christopher Robin, "but they only happen in your mind." "Oh," said Pooh, "but if I was asleep, how could my mind be making up a heffalump?" "Every night, when your body sleeps, your brain stays awake part of the time," said Christopher Robin. "That's when you're dreaming," cried Piglet. "Right," said Christopher Robin. "Usually dreams are nice, or they're just boring and you forget them as soon as you wake up. But if you're especially tired or worried about COVID or something, then sometimes a dream turns into a bad dream. A nightmare, as they say in Young Frankenstein in 1974.
Wake up!
What is it?
You were having a nightmare.
"I was a little worried," said Pooh, thinking of what Tigger had said. "And I'm so sleepy." But Piglet tucked Pooh in bed. "What if my brain brings the heffalump back?" asked Pooh. "It's your dream," said Christopher Robin. "You're in charge. If he comes back, just look him in the eye and say, 'Heffalump, put on a bloody mask, do the QR code, and stay outside the 10k limit, you dirty little heffalump bastard. Heffalump, you dirty bastard, go away. Heffalump, dirty bastard, go away. Heff, go." Pooh repeated, until at last he was fast asleep again. Piglet and Christopher Robin tiptoed out. Then suddenly, Pooh's house shook like thunder. A big red heffalump stopped right up to Pooh's bed. Ho ho ho, he boomed. Puffalump, go, lump, tried Pooh. The heffalump was muddled. What? He asked. Go away, said Pooh huskily. Go away. That's more husky. The heffalump stopped. His lip began to tremble. Tears came to his eyes. What's wrong? Asked Pooh. I just wanted a little snack, that's all, said the heffalump. And that's... You're sending me away. Pooh began to feel sorry. He had been so rough with the heffalump. I'm feeling a little bit rumbly in my tumbly too, he said. Would you like to share a slab of honey? The big heffalump looked rather silly sitting in Pooh's little chair, but he didn't seem to mind because he was Pooh's new intimate partner. This time, Pooh and the heffalump dreamed a sweet dream together. The end.
Hey! Ooh, ah! Did you enjoy that little ditty? Have I ruined Winnie the Pooh stories for you forever now? I hope so. I do have so much fun doing it. Ooh, nonsensical. Anyway, I shall love and leave you now. This is Chris Quinlan, Melbourne Musos, Facechook Live, Lockdown 4.8, Week 2. Okay, this is what we do. You gotta do something. And love is in the air, and it's another lockdown. Love is in the air. You gotta act like a clown. I don't know why you're still watching. Channel 31's about to go off, 'cause you voted for a pack of dirty bastards. It's enough to make you off. Love is in the air. Good night, everyone. I might fight this one out. Bog roll! Get your bog roll! Thank you. Thanks for watching. Oh, Winnie the Pooh's intimate partner is coming around at 8 o'clock. Not me, Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, love and leave you. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Get the jab. See you later. Bye. Hey, ho! Oh! Hey! Love is in the air. It's our 4th lockdown.